Alright, back out in the garage. It's later in the evening, late afternoon, early evening of 16th April. Been working on trying to clean out the garage a little bit here, and working on the 302. In the previous video I talked about getting stuff put on this side. I did get this section of governor linkage hooked, throttle linkage hooked up. Got this in with a new cotter pin, little guide rod. That's on. I can't go any farther until starter. I cleaned it all up real good. Took the solenoid off of it. Gave it kind of taped up around the plunger that's inside there. Give it a coat of gloss black, it looks like. So when that paint dries, that'll be ready to go back in that hole. But I can't really put that guy, the carburetor, back in its spot until I figure out, it's going here. What I'm going to do about this mess. We're booger welded there. We're cut and booger welded there. We got some funny bends in it there. So there's this is a lock nut that it's actually supposed to be able to adjust this for your linkage length. Yeah, I got to get a new throttle rod. Anyway, so while I was cleaning up stuff, I think it was the power steering pump leaked all under on my shelf in there. So just threw some sawdust in there to soak up the oil so I can get it cleaned up, dried up, whatever. Sawdust can go on the fire like that pile of sawdust. Anyway, so I was kind of digging out projects, things I can work on. The fan water pump assembly, that needs cleaned up. There's a lot of oil and grease on that that needs cleaned up. Power steering bracket stuff, that needs cleaned up. I may go ahead and pull the pump out of that bracket so I can clean and paint independently. Fresh coat of gloss black on the pump and brown on all that, and this will all get brown. And then the original air cleaner that we had for it, which is buried in a pile somewhere. I don't know where it is. I give up. I punt. I don't know. Anyway, it had been wrecked at some point and was all bent and mashed around here. So I got this one. I'm gonna get it cleaned up and get the yellow off and get this brown fresh coat of gloss black up here on the pipe and the cap. There's couple small dings in the cap. But yeah, so as I was cleaning and sorting and stuff, I was pulling out little projects I can work on while I wait to figure out when to do that. Like I said, I got fan water pump assembly to clean up, and then the power steering pump assembly to clean up. So we'll shove the old table saw workbench back in its hole, and then once we get it back in there, then we'll continue working on cleaning up the mess here. Got this rototiller that I was working on for a church friend, that the gearbox for the tines is completely locked up, and there's so much disassembly that's going to be required, and then who knows what I'll find when I get inside. She went ahead and just bought a new I don't know, she got a different tiller, so I think what I'm going to do is salvage the engine off of it, because the engine runs really well, and the rest of it will go to scrap, and we'll send the scrap money to her. I was kind of hoping maybe I wouldn't need this guy. Well, I don't need this guy because it doesn't burn right. I don't know what's wrong with it. I've changed the wick. I don't know, it's like the wick doesn't come up high enough out of the deal to make heat. But I was hoping not to have to use that guy and this guy yet anymore this year, because I mean it's middle of April, for crying out loud. But I think I'm going to suck the kerosene out of that into that. Yeah, so we're making progress on the 302. Oh, now I know those copper washers go. I found them in the box of gaskets wherever it's at. I found some copper washers. I couldn't figure out what they were for. I think they're the seals to go on the yeah, valve cover, tap it cover thing. I think they're the seals. I think they're the washers that go under there to seal that up. No gasket there yet. Probably ought to put a gasket on it, get that tightened down. I did find out tonight that this Stanley MM-4 muffler that's supposed to be the correct muffler for the 302 Super is not. Either that or this manifold's not right, this elbow's not right. I'm not sure. I think when I'm digging into the throttle rod deal, I'll see about reaching out and finding out if there's a different elbow that goes there with a bigger outlet.